Just a second. Attention, everybody. The views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits. So without any further ado, hoopla. Trying not to say adieu too much.
Oh, because it's French.
I don't know.
And we don't like it.
Is that French?
We miss you.
Good morning.
That was
Coming
bad.
in live from Axe Media Group headquarters here in the beautiful Springfield, Missouri, where we love the French very much.
We do love the French.
It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your hosts, Matt, Jay, and Steve. Yes. Hello. It's all dressed up today.
That's how my first wife got me, was talking to me in French.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Wow. Like
She
real.
said some naughty things.
We'll just leave it at that then. Well, anything in French, anything French sounds naughty.
Yes, depending.
I mean,
Forgive me.
Watch those French movies, you know, and you never know what will come out of them.
Nobody's going to see that anyway. Nobody's going to hear that.
yeah, that's famous last words.
Then there's French opera.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. We're off to a fun start, obviously, this morning. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
We're glad to have
Good
everybody
morning.
on board with us today. Yeah, almost anything you say in regular, that's why they call it the language of love. French.
Oui, monsieur.
Oui, monsieur.
That's not what she said, but it was close.
Cartoon.
We'll stay away from
There's
that.
a cartoon
Yeah.
that's got a lot of
like even their
French.
food. A baguette.
baguette.
I got to get a refill of coffee.
Uh-oh, there he goes.
And you'll see my face if I get into that lump of.
There's a little lump of unstirred in creamer powder in there. That's funny.
Rachel, I'm sure she'll be on shortly.
I need to.
Yes, she is.
I need to pull up my deal here. Today's title is America, We Are Free to Dream and Apply Ourselves.
And what a statement.
That was a quote from Jay Dizzle this morning.
Oh yes, and it was so heartfelt.
It was. The way he said it was like, ho ho.
A beam of light just came over his
What are we talking about
We
now?
were talking about your
We're talking about how
your
you
statement about America.
and how motivated it sounded.
It's like, America.
Right.
So Scott's on my watch party.
Scott.
Well, the
Scott
reason
Holland.
America
morning,
faces
brother.
challenges and meets them so well and rises to the occasion is because, look at us building complicated
came over his-
medical
Sorry.
complicated medical instruments in months. We're doing something that couldn't be done. All the testing that we're doing, the reason that happens is because in America, and this is what I said earlier that you guys seem to like so much, was in America we're free to dream and apply ourselves to it.
And
That's
true.
why we are the greatest nation on earth.
And that is a serious statement. I mean, we may tease around a little bit, but it really is a true statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our forefathers, a lot of that forefathers, you don't hear much about our forefathers did this and did that. They're trying to rip that up and forget it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't get into that. I think that's inexperienced kids who don't really know what they're saying, who
Right.
have a right to vote, and we need to be careful of that. And we can think about the places
Morning,
in
Steve
the
Schultz.
nation where we're outnumbered, but still, the races were pretty close in all those places, too.
Correct.
So in all the high populous areas where they're more liberal and weird to us, right next to them in the place they are is somebody who's not, somebody who's conservative, because those races were close there too.
Like 50-50 shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except
there's-
it's 49-51, so they lose there.
So the odds are very, very, very good that at least one person you're standing next to is going to be a liberal when you're a conservative.
Yeah,
I've
On
been
the
by
boat-
a few of those
and you
lately.
feel outnumbered because if you take 50-50 and you go blue, green, blue, or blue, red, what happens? If you're red, you've got a blue on this side and a blue on this side, so you always feel outnumbered.
Yep. That's
And if
true.
you're a blue, you got a red on this side and a red on this side.
So you always feel outnumbered. So they always feel like they have to fight
Yeah.
because it's
For your
because
right.
it's 2-on-1.
I don't
But
like it.
now the military strategists understand this, and they understand how what really happens
Morning,
is if
Lita.
the red is willing to fight, the blue on either side has to contend with them, which means the two reds on either side of that are one-on-one. So we really do need to stand, and that's why in the media I think the blue is winning, is because they're the ones out fighting, and we're now starting to fight back, and that's why it's coming back more towards the center, is because now everybody's one-on-one instead of feeling outnumbered 2-on-1. Because you see what, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm really bad at math. But
Well,
yeah,
and
I
that's
got
why
it.
in the military it's important to take action at great risk, because that action really does leave your comrades free to take decisive and effective action. You
Right.
may sacrifice your life in the process, but when you
Morning,
go
Lady
out there and
Fleetwood.
take action and sacrifice yourself for that action and for the outcome of that action, then the people that are your partners in it and your, comrades in it, they are free to do something with less opposition because you're taking the opposition away from them, which is really, a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
You can feel outnumbered, or you can.
I guess it depends on your perception. You look like you were going to say something, Steve.
No, I'm just listening. I'm trying to
I've
listen.
taken a risk at work and spoke out against some liberal, to me, crazy
Jonathan
liberal ideas, and said I don't agree with that. Right after I spoke about it on, I actually spoke about it after I did it. The people next to me were like, I agree. I didn't want to say it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's a lot of people that don't want to speak out because there's so many things that you can say now that offends people that you can, that
Well-
you're afraid you're going to get in trouble for.
And some of the opposition are not just mad and crazy. Really, they will, if you speak out and take that risk and take the heat, even some on the opposition side will listen carefully and watch what you're doing carefully and try to interject information that you can use to understand better what both sides are after instead of just understanding what you see yourself. You know what I mean? So you can actually gain allies on the other side just by standing up and speaking out and intelligently and being willing to listen.
Yeah.
Because those on the other side who want to speak intelligently and make a difference for their cause will then say, hey, but what about this?
Yeah.
And then you're learning something, and your perspective will change to include everybody that has, and I'm talking politically, I'm not talking about faith, because there is no compromise in faith.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in the context that when it comes to faith, you're wrong and I'm right. What I'm saying by faith in that in a different context is that the Word of God is true. No matter what you understand to be true in life, if you abandon it and adhere yourself to the Word of God and what it says, you will find that it is more true and that it is more useful and it is more helpful, and you will find the love of God in it. And He will respond to you, and He will show Himself to you in a mighty way that is unmistakably true. You know? So abandon your own understanding. Abandon the truth that science and technology and the hard thing you can put your hand on for a second and take a risk and say, what is this faith? Who is this God? And try to change your behavior to obey Him in some way that is even just that you might see some value in, and see how He responds to you.
Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's
Yeah.
what you're...
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
We're all given a measure of faith. It's what we spend it on. I'm saying just take 1% of that faith you have in science and technology and social construction. Take 1% of it out. You're not gonna miss it. Take 0.01% of it and say, you know what? I'm gonna love my enemy.
And that's hard
How
to do.
can I love my
folks.
enemy?
That is hard to do.
But take 1%. Don't even try real hard. Just try enough to see what happens. Right?
Morning, Jana.
And you're going to find that the Word of God is true. God is not a liar. His Word is true. And if you obey Him, you will find God's love and peace and mercy in your life. And not only that, it'll spread to the lives of the people around you, including your enemies.
Yeah. And whenever you're kind to your enemies, you heap burning coals upon their head.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. My mom always used to say, you know what you need to do? Just burn heaps of...
Heaps of burning coal on their head.
Yeah.
Which and that's...
10%.
When I was a little kid, I was like, what? Why would I want to do that?
That sounds painful.
Right, but it's not just that. And I'm saying if some people have an anger issue and an obsessive anger issue and they can't love their enemy. Well, how about
Jana.
take 10% of the change in your pocket? Right?
Yeah.
And give it to somebody less fortunate than you. Just 10% of it. You got 90 cents in your pocket. Take 9 cents and give it to somebody who's less fortunate.
Because that 9 cents can go a long way, believe it or not. Because it adds up.
Put it in the penny jar at the counter.
Oh, for them to use like when somebody's short on change.
Yeah, exactly.
We see people
then you're
count out
giving.
change. It's
But
like,
do
oh, man, I
do
need 30 cents.
10% of what changes in your
That's
pocket
happened lately.
every time you're at the register. Not 10%. Do 1.
Right.
1%. You know, I'm just saying, do it. What you'll start to see is that little thing by the register will start to fill up, because God is not a liar. If you give to somebody less fortunate than yourself, God will bless you
Sometimes tenfold.
tenfold. Yeah, and then
That's the one thing he says to,
here's what the
test him
tenfold
on-
may be.
about
That
tithing.
penny that you kept in your own pocket before brought you nothing. But one day, you're going to be at the register, and you're going to be next to that jar that you put all those pennies in all those days.
Yep.
And you're going to see somebody really, really down who needed that money. Take that money out of there.
Yeah.
And then you're going to know that you blessed somebody. And let me ask you this. Are you going to have 10% more? Are you going to have 10 times more joy seeing somebody who's suffering given something, somebody who's suffering provided for by you? Are you gonna have more than 10%? Are you gonna have more than 10 times the joy that penny would have brought you leaving it in your pocket?
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be that you're going to have 10 times the money you put in given back to you, or just God's going to give it back to you tenfold?
It doesn't have to be monetary.
No.
Well, the return doesn't have to be. I can promise you. If you
You'll be
take
blessed.
1 penny a day and put it in that penny thing by the register, and you're there one day and you see somebody who really needs it take it, you're going to have that money is going to bring back to you, I would say, God's word is true. It'll be exactly 10 times the
Andrea
joy
Wilkins,
that
welcome to the
penny
show.
would have brought you keeping it in your pocket. Try it. God's word is true. God is real. He loves you, and he tells you what he expects because
Morning,
he
Susan
wants you
Burrows.
to be blessed in your life.
Exactly.
Sorry, I would have somebody who I haven't seen on here before. She said the joy will be through the roof. That's what she says.
And it won't take much.
Now, is it Adria or Adria
I don't know.
Wilkins? Welcome to the party. Susan Burrows, good morning. Well, good to see you.
Good to see
Linda
you,
Fleetwood,
Susan.
I don't know if you heard me say. Jonathan Kretzman, Steve Schultz.
Morning, Steve.
Yeah, the blessing is more in it's usually not in monetary means.
And sometimes it blesses me even more when it's not
Adria.
monetary.
Thank you.
Because then when you're blessing somebody and you know that it comes back to you, like you get a hug out of that, a hug is more
we're glad you're
worth
watching now.
than money.
Yeah, and we're not supposed to hug now.
I know.
So tough.
That is. It's,
You know, we
so-
shouldn't expect anything in return either, really.
No.
No.
But God does promise it.
And Jana, she said, that's heavy stuff.
Adria Wilkins says that she has a book called The Joy Box Journal.
Oh. Sounds
Did
good.
you write it yourself? I mean, is it like something that you wrote that you published, or she has watched this before? It's just I just got off work a little while ago, so my brain's
So, forgive Matt because of his...
because we rode the refrigerator up here.
Yes, we did.
refrigerator.
Now, see, you're saying that. I'm staying... I didn't want to say...
No, I admit it whenever I goof up like that. I mean,
Oh,
like,
that's
yeah.
a pushing one and the door kind of stayed...
The door was on its way closed, and I hit one instead of floor number 2.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, you didn't see me do it. So you're like, oh, the elevator has a mind of its own sometimes. I said, no, I hit number 2. It's not the refrigerator's fault.
Yes. So there you go, folks. So if he starts talking like that, it's only because his brain has not woke up yet.
Or it's
Oh,
it should have been woke up
But your body's...
because I've been up all night.
Oh, yeah, your body was working. but
I
your
haven't got
brain
my
wasn't.
second wind yet. I'm trying to
Oh.
ease up on the caffeine. On account of having anxiety issues.
Yeah.
But like yesterday, I didn't drink any caffeine, and due to my anxiety medicine, I was literally going cross-eyed over here. Like, did you notice that at all yesterday?
Yeah,
did a
your
few
eyes
times.
were funky.
I was just so sleepy, and when I got home, I collapsed into bed, went to sleep. But I'm doing better today than I was yesterday.
Your voice does sound stronger.
Yeah. Then dealing with the what do you call that? The sinus, the allergies and stuff.
Yeah, I could see
that didn't help any.
Well, it seems like it's going away a little bit at a
You got
time.
the pressure right here. It's so much pressure. But
At least your eyes aren't bloodshot.
no. You talking about the whenever I had a busted blood vessel
Well, yeah, see?
in
There
my
you go.
eye?
Between the refrigerator and...
Man, that's not all I've been messing up on saying here lately. I said
now you
something-
have been feeling better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you have.
And you have a plan to face some of the anxieties,
Yeah.
the
yeah.
big ones.
Yeah, and I think,
Payday's tomorrow. I want to see something.
Yeah.
You got to show me what you've done.
By the way, today is the National Day of Prayer.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Good.
And the National Day of Prayer breakfast that is usually held in Branson has
I
been
need a box.
rescheduled till September 24th. So if you're out there, Branson, and you're not sure what's going on with that, it's September 24th. I assume it's going to be.
Is
at
that
the
see you
convention.
at the pole?
No, that's see you September 22nd. I think is see you at the pole.
Which is where everybody circles the flagpole, and
And,
hopefully by then we can all hold hands and
yeah,
hug one another.
that'd be great. But no, September 24th is when they're rescheduled the National Day of Prayer down there, the prayer breakfast.
Thank you, by the way, for the keyboard. I know that was appreciated. And all those little things really have an effect.
Yeah.
Just
Morning,
care
Penny.
for somebody today, you know?
But my I guess not, I don't even want to call it a mantra. My just my way of living and my everything I talked to people about, it was love thy neighbor. When this all started happening, I mean, I push that message out there. Love thy neighbor as thyself.
And even now, it's important. It's even more important now.
Yeah. And then, in the future when the economy starts to tank a little bit, because it's going to,
Again,
the stimulus thing is just to keep it from happening is bad.
We don't
Right.
know. Parts of it will.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about American ingenuity. Those companies that were thriving, that were smart, and were
Steve got a haircut.
making
Yesterday.
sure there was real value in their company
Steve Schultz.
oh,
instead of just making profit, but that there was real value there, real capability to produce not just for themselves a profit, but to produce something good. Those companies that have managed to achieve that are all being run by people who are prepared to make big changes if necessary to keep this going.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that. So even though some parts of the economy may suffer on their face, those other companies, those people who are responsible and who are trying to do the right thing and want to maintain a company will do whatever changes are necessary to rise out of this.
Yeah.
And you'll see irresponsible businesses or businesses that weren't really, that had owners who weren't capable of managing them to that level of preparedness for the future or for tragedy. You'll see those will suffer a lot. And then you'll see the ones who were prepared and were wise rise. And they will apply themselves to whatever it is that the market needs based on our country surviving this, you know, and you'll see that. That's why we got such a great country. Is because, look, now we were all just trying to do our own thing and get what we wanted and needed out of our life, right? Well,
Yeah.
right now our country is at risk. Our
Yeah.
people, the world.
Yeah.
The world hinges on our economy a lot.
It's
Yeah.
not just the States, it's actually the whole world.
Now you get free people who are free to dream and pursue those dreams and apply themselves to those dreams, facing challenges of the nation instead of how much their bank account's going to rise or how fast their boat's going to be. You get them saying, you know what, the result I want out of my labor is that our country stays strong and that we emerge from this not just a great and strong country, but also a country that can keep the rest of the world from suffering out of this and be an example and then contribute to them in a way that will show them our moral depth. You know, that
Yeah.
we care not just for ourselves, but for everyone else as well.
Right.
And so I hope that and I pray that. And I do see that as long as we are able to do that as a nation, we will rise out of this. And so will the rest of the world be benefited by it. Our intentions with China were to bring about human rights. To say, look, you want to be in our free market, we'll welcome you. But here are some stipulations and guidelines that you need to follow. And they were hoping that that would bring about change in China and change in Russia, that those communist countries would see the value in it and begin to give their people more freedom. Not just freedom to dream, but freedom to pursue those dreams without somebody saying, no, you can't. You know, without somebody saying, that's against our principles. But let people have their own principles. As long as they're not hurting anybody else, it's okay.
Right.
And then you'll see people, but that didn't work. China didn't hold up their bargain. What they did was they came in instead of as a welcomed guest benefiting from a relationship. They came in as a nation bent on conquest to take over an economic structure and force their will into it. And that is where they need to be rejected and kicked out. If they are going to do that, if they're not going to come in as a welcome guest and just take the benefits and then apply those benefits to forcing their will on the rest of us, to change what it is they're benefiting from and take it, well, then I think they should be rejected.
Yeah, that's Steve Schultz says a good point, and he says that's what's so great about the USA. We can have a dream.
Yeah.
America, we are free
And
to dream.
apply
And
ourselves
apply
to it.
ourselves.
That is the most important part. Everybody dreams. It's part of human nature. In America, we have the
pursue.
freedom to pursue it and apply ourselves to it and make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm preaching, and I'm not in the choir. You know, I've failed in so many ways in my life to achieve a lot of my dreams and accomplish the things that I wanted. And the dream I had for my life, the reality of my life, does not match up with the picture of the dream that I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to think it was God's will too.
You can't be discouraged by that,
No. You know, if
and
it-
I'm not.
but God doesn't hinder; He allows.
I'm saddened by it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You know,
That's like me. You think I want to be single and almost 40?
who wants that?
Nobody.
Not when you want the love of a woman in your life,
No, I mean,
and you know what they can contribute.
so yeah.
I mean, I have mother, aunts, sisters, and I've seen their contribution in my life and in the lives of the people in their lives, especially the men. Boy, you know, boys benefit a lot. My sisters taught me how to do my own laundry well, and to take care of myself.
Yeah.
you know. And they saw that I didn't know what I was doing and said, "Hey, come here. Let's show you how to do this, because you're going to need to." When I left home, the women in my life put together a box that I could go out and put my food on a dish. You know what I mean? They saw that there was something I was missing and wasn't preparing for, and they tried to prepare me. Women can make a great contribution in a person's life. And being 40 and single, I'm 50 and single. I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Women
I
contribute.
You're a married man, so.
Yeah, there's a joy in life.
Morning,
that you-
Joe, Katie.
But
you
I
know,
was
to
single
me,
at one
can't get
time.
in your life.
Yeah. How many years ago?
Yeah.
24.
24. You've been.
Well, 22, but we've been together 24.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Rachel O'Mickey Mactastic, who is watching right now. as we
Yes.
speak.
I didn't realize it was that long. You guys practically seem like newlyweds.
June 26th, it'll be 24 years
Huh.
that
Yeah.
we got together, actually. And
Oh, he's
then-
probably got it.
I would
down.
have guessed
Yes,
maybe.
dear.
If I was to guess, I would have said 3 years, 2 years.
Well,
Probably
thank you.
3 years.
Yeah,
Well, Dr.
she's the
Paul
love
and
of-
Nancy are like that too.
Well, you're the love
Yeah.
of my life, Rachel.
The same exact thing.
Yeah.
And you almost
Morning,
don't
Becky.
retain that knowledge of how long they've been together, because then when you see
Yeah.
them, you can't imagine that.
We see them roll their eyes at each other from time to time. Well, not you. I've never seen you roll your eyes at your
Oh,
wife, but I have seen. But I have seen the wives go. Oh, here we go, because that's
Nancy does that.
There is yes, and there is a fundamental difference between men and women in that aspect. Men are immature.
Right.
I mean, why else is it that a woman can gets lower insurance rates? You know, when they're
least
younger,
risk.
because they're less of a risk. Men are more at risk
Because
like,
we're men, we're boys.
Steve Schultz says him and his wife have been married for 50 years. August 21st.
Golden
Praise the Lord.
anniversary.
Wow, what a testimony, huh?
Yeah.
We have long-term
my-
marriages and relationships
My
going on around
friend,
us.
my
And then there's
friends-
us on the opposite end of the spectrum. You know, the
I
longest.
see a difference.
Yeah.
I am not. I was never in a relationship or entered a relationship that
Morning, Keith Bradford.
was a
Bradford
reflection of
and,
what I
Brian
see in this.
Sizemore.
That reflected what I see in successful relationships.
Right. Well, because, you know, like the women that I've been with, most of them have been like we met when we were at the bar, or we met in a place that's inappropriate. And I mean, not all of them. Obviously, I met one at church, and that
How
didn't work
good.
out.
How great.
Yeah. Just because you meet somebody at church doesn't mean that they're going to be perfect. Because if you expect somebody to
Exactly.
be perfect, that you meet at church, that is not fair to you to them.
I've had a few friends
Well,
that met
if
their
they're
husbands
like
at
you,
church.
If a woman is like me, she's definitely not perfect.
Oh yeah,
And I think that the Bible says
Rue Duvall.
in a
Welcome.
few words what could be put in a book when it says that God saw Adam was alone and he made a woman like him. And we know that that does not mean physically, because women and men are physically very different.
Right.
Yeah,
So when you look at that, they have some likenesses. They have 2 legs, 2 arms, 10 fingers, 10 toes, right? But when
They have one more rib
I
than we
think
do.
there's more to it, and so I think that's probably is that my
good
my
to see you too, Rue.
what do they say that is the meter that something's broke.
Oh, my picker.
My picker's broke. I think it's right.
Yeah,
I think it's right because I don't choose women like me. I
No.
choose women that turn me on.
yeah, and that's, you know, whenever you choose somebody lustfully.
Yeah.
Once that's gone, because, you know, let's face it, in regards to marriage, I mean, eventually the lust part fades away. I'm trying to say this as nice as possible.
Or in other words, the honeymoon is over.
Right? Yeah. I
And there's
mean,
got to be both. You got to have self-control. You got to say, "Hey, yeah, this person turns me on," but at the same time, they're not like me, right?
Right.
You know, you got to be able to recognize that and not be blinded by the excitement and the passion and the.
Rue Duvall says, "God may
Chemical.
have made man first, but," and that's all she says there.
Way to go, Rue.
I love Rue. She's a sweetheart.
I'll just cheer Rue on.
She's
I don't know who she is.
she's
but
she's a family friend. She's been a friend of the family for years on my sister's.
You're lucky to
Mom's
have
side.
friends like Matt and the family.
So, and Susan Burrows says, sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday
Day to you.
Happy birthday to you.
We don't know.
Happy birthday, dear whoever you are. Happy birthday to you. Oh boy, I gotta stay out of
Good
this
evening, friends. Sorry.
So happy birthday if it's your birthday.
And Susan, is this your birthday?
Oh yeah, is this your birthday?
Birthday. Yeah. We
Go,
now,
Susan! It's your birthday.
now that
Do you hear
it's
that?
Yeah.
now that
I was
it's
just making sure.
her birthday, I hope maybe Rachel and I should go down there and see her. After all, she is family.
Yeah. Is she your sister-in-law,
You know, that cousin.
cousin-in-law, or just cousin?
Cousin.
You know, he's my cousin.
Or-
Did you know
or-
that?
Yeah.
Like, he's actually my blood cousin. Like, his mom is
We've
my
been
aunt.
cousins his whole life.
In my whole life.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
Well, you're both
You know,
lucky.
when I was a kid,
You're both lucky to have each other.
and I've said this, she says, thank you. You're welcome. And I've said this, but he corrected his mistakes and made a woman. Ha!
Oh.
We're just going to leave that lie.
We're going to really...
You know, one time,
God saw something wrong with
Here
it.
I was being
God
so
saw
nice
Adam
to
by
you,
himself
Rue.
and saw something wrong with it. So that's not really far off from saying it.
that's true. Good point.
He said good, not perfect. when he made it.
Okay, so I went into a movie theater. I think I was like 16, 17, something like that. And it was the Romeo and Juliet movie
Oh.
with, you know,
Leonardo.
Leo DiCaprio.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
that's actually a really cool movie.
It really turned out to be a really cool
Yeah.
movie.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine seeing that live in theater?
I did go see it live in
That
the
would be
theater,
magnificent.
and I was the only one. I was like the only guy in there.
Really?
Yeah, I was on a date, and then I heard some man bashing behind me, and just to be funny, I thought it was going to be so funny. I said, "Yeah, well, you know what's wrong with men today? Women,
Ooh.
popcorn, ice cubes." Yeah.
Ooh.
I got a smack, a pretty hard smack on the shoulder from my date, and I'm like, I was just kidding. But
I was
I
trying
can
to make.
imagine it.
I was trying to make them.
M&M's. Skittles. Hey, did you get any stuck in your hair?
I did. I had popcorn
yes,
stuck
well,
in my ear.
that because that is actually.
We know
in
they
fact-
didn't get stuck in your hair right around
No,
here.
no, but see, I've actually had hair up until all of the hair was up in the middle until I was in my mid-20s.
Oh, okay.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I love you, Matt.
I love you too. I love,
Love
you.
you.
Love you
Love you,
guys.
Matt.
guys.
love
you.
you too, Steve.
Love
So-
you too, Jay.
Lots of love, brother.
Lots of
So
love
if
to
you guys
too.
love this show, and
What
if
a
you want
segue.
and if you want to see more of them, I should have segued while you were talking about giving and stuff. But we would like to partner with you guys to help to increase the amount of time we can spend here and the amount of shows that we have. We want to add to the roster and add to the hours of service. And, you can go online to axmediagroup.com. That's ACTS. Let me see if I can find it here. Go to axmediagroup.com. Check it out. Check out everything we got there. We've got autism awareness programs. We've got veterans programs. We've got the Helping Hands Fund, which is for people who need help financially to have these supplements that help them live healthier. And then also we've got sorry, I just got distracted because Pam walked in the door. Hi,
Hi,
Pam.
Pam.
We also have what is it? The Kidney Fund, which is where we raise money for a person that needs it whenever they have the actual kidney transplant. It helps to pay the copays on the anti-rejection meds, which are very expensive. So
Yep.
go online to axmediagroup.com. Check it out. We take debit card, credit card, or PayPal, and you can help us to do the right thing. By serving where needed and spreading the message of unity.
We have
in
a
Christ.
school that you can
Yeah.
go to become a minister, licensed with ACTS, and then maybe ordained if you choose
Acts-
to do so.
Acts
And
Ministry University.
there are many ministries and programs that, as a minister, your quality may be recognized by ACTS, and then you could be sent to go and serve the Lord in your life, and that's a good thing. So think about that too. It's Dr. Marty Hamilton.
Basics of faith.
Yeah.
Basics of Faith. That's a great place to start and see where
You
to.
can look at those on our YouTube channel.
Yep, and then so watch his program. It's amazing. He's a really amazing teacher, and I mean, I can't even tell you how good a
I
teacher
love the
is.
way he teaches.
Yeah, and then there's Acts Ministry School, which is taught by how many of the ministers?
Most of us.
How many of the classes are up there now?
Well, I mean, they're all available. You just gotta email 4321axtreasurer@gmail.com, I think.
Yep.
I don't know what Marty's email address is, but we'll get that for you.
Yeah, and you can join that. You can pay for the classes. By paying for the classes and taking the classes, and
Thank you, Jana.
you can then be licensed and then possibly ordained through Acts and then even applied
Yeah,
to a ministry.
yeah.
Jana said she loves the show.
What about the CD? Did you mail her the CD yet?
It's on its way.
Okay, all right.
Finally. Sorry, Jana.
So yeah, axmediagroup.com. Check out all the stuff we got on there.
It's
It's
been
a lot. There's a lot going on.
And then on the right is the Donate Now button. You can do a one-time donation, or you can have it come out automatically every month and become a monthly partner with us. So anyways, back to the show.
Well, now, our regular listeners, if you would, please donate $1 a month. You have no idea the difference that could make.
Yes.
And it's not much. You know, I know there's hard times right now, but make that difference that you can make and only you can make by donating
every
even just
dollar-
$1 a month.
right. And if everybody watching the show gives that $1, just think what we could do with that $1.
Yeah.
Well, we're on Monday through Friday, Rue, from 8 to 9 a.m. here on the Morning Drive, and then we have other shows throughout the week after hours from 9 to 10. And on Friday, we go till about 10:30. Monday, we're going to start going to 10:30
Right.
because we have a different show starting next Monday.
Right.
I can't remember what we're going to call it. So
Sacred Waves.
okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's one of those things where you just, by the seat of our pants.
I guess I ought to get the YouTube or Facebook things because I probably ought to be documenting what's going on at Crosswalk of Hope because I think it would help people to see the difference that they can make.
Yeah.
And there is something that I wanted to bring up, but it's going to have to be off the air, and then we can bring it on the air so that I think it'll work.
What is
Yeah.
it?
It's a benefit concert
Oh, yeah.
to help
That would be
that
fun.
person, but help you as well.
Yeah.
And I think it would work, and he told me to bring it up to you, so I don't want to say
There's a
who it is
telephone
yet.
talent show.
Yeah, there's a
we
telephone
have
talent show
more?
coming
You
up.
think
but
he would
I
do
don't
it
know if that'd be cool if he could make it, but
Yeah.
I just don't want to say who it is yet.
Gotcha.
Let's try it. I'm just
Because
saying.
it's a famous
Do
person.
you have the
Yes.
dates for it yet?
Pardon?
Is
Do you
it
have the
Kevin
dates for it
Sorbo?
yet?
No.
It's not Kevin
Do,
Sorbo?
No.
Do you have the dates for the telethon?
Oh yeah, June 1 through the 5th, right?
See if we can do it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna be
Give him a
talking about
spot.
that
Actually, that would be kind of cool.
as we
actually.
get everything hammered out, the details hammered out this week while Jim and Pam are in town. We'll get everything.
And I think
Talk to Jim. He's arranging it. He's lining up that stuff, right?
And by the way, I think I'll be
Schedule.
able to get more
Yeah.
Branson entertainers this time because there's not a lot of people sick. At least I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I think one of
What's
those
the laugh
days
out loud about?
It's probably because of something. I think
Good
it's
morning,
probably
Tina.
Us singing.
Sit down comedy
Tina
instead of
Richards,
stand up,
glad
right?
to see you.
Yeah.
I love that Be Encouraged episode that you did.
Well, Rue, so far we are on here on July 7th will be 5 years.
Yep. July 7th will be 5 years
Every
for the
morning,
radio.
8 to 9, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
How many for the actual Facebook or YouTube?
We're going on what?
1 year, over a year.
Over a year now.
It was the beginning
It-
of last year. So it's a
no,
year
it
and a
was
half.
not
close to a
last
year and a half.
year. It wasn't
Because
last
I started
November.
watching you guys.
It was in November. It was
17? 18?
something like that. It was not this last November, but the one before it. Because remember, we started, then we got burglarized.
Yeah, so a year and a
I
half.
remember that.
So a year and a half, almost 2 years now.
I
Yeah.
remember the burglary, but I started watching you guys actually. Probably, I guess it
Hey,
has
Julie.
been over a year.
Thank you
because
for asking. And that's part of the thing about America. We had a dream, right?
Thank you, Rue.
We had a dream.
Yeah.
We had the freedom to dream, but not just to do that, right? We had the freedom to dream and then take everything we have and put it into it and continue to work at it. And here we are, still doing it, right?
Yeah.
And it's grown.
Exponentially.
And the way we do it, is
Trial
not
and error. This has all been trial and error that we've had to learn. It's just,
America.
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 I'm saying.
Coming
right?
home
Let's
to
face
America.
the challenges our nation faces right now together.
Steve says we need
Apply
to bring
yourself.
back the pink room for an anniversary show.
Uh,
Well, I think
morning, Jim.
Barney actually threw the pink stuff away.
Yeah.
Because,
that
he
would
couldn't
be
put something
hilarious.
heavy. He put something heavy on it, but it didn't squash it
Just
down.
fell over. Probably.
Put something
Yeah.
heavy on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Now that's gonna see. That's in my head now.
yeah. You see, that's what we even now we
What a great thing to be an American. Not only that, there's more, right? Don't we have the freedom to worship our God the way we choose?
But that's not all.
And then to apply ourselves to that as well, right? How many people do you see in the ministries that we work in? We get to see a lot of people applying themselves wholly to the service of God, obedient to God, performing the service that He told us to in His Word when He was here with us. And they're doing that. And the results are, there's tons of struggle, and there always is, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not of the world. We're in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And we struggle with principalities and powers, and there's always something coming against us. But look at the lives of the people involved and what they're doing. We can do that in America, right?
Yeah.
And we can continue to work on those dreams.
Thank you for sharing, everybody. Everybody's been sharing our
Not only that, but we also have the brother and sister and the neighbor and even the enemy next to us who come in and out of our lives and say, don't give up, it's a good dream. And the reason they can say that without reservation is because they know that we have the freedom to do it and that we can.
Yeah.
Same with facing the challenges our nation faces now. I think that we are going to see incredible suffering and incredible joy. One of the greatest gifts God gave
An incredible
us.
support.
I think one of the greatest gifts God gave us is our empathy, sympathy, our compassion. And all of that comes from suffering and tragedy. And you want to say, hey, why does God allow this? Because without without tragedy, how could we experience compassion? Without tragedy, how could we experience sympathy and empathy and actually reach out with our hand and help somebody? And then, I mean, how could we do that without those things?
True.
Bless
Adria.
the Lord for those things, because they are what roots us in our humanity and make us something that can be better. And look at what's going to be happening in our country. Be prepared always to just do even the smallest thing to actually help somebody and lift them up. Just do it.
Yeah.
And encourage people to dream and to look for a way to make a change that will help and head us all in a better direction than what we are right now with all that's happening. You can do that.
Then if somebody tells you, oh yeah, I'd like to do this or this, don't go, don't be rude.
discourage.
Don't discourage. Be like, hey man, go for it.
You
All
might
right.
offer wisdom
Yeah.
and instruction so they can adjust their direction to make sure that they're headed in the right direction and not involved in something
Because
folly.
if you throw that negativity out there just by
You're
body
planting
language,
a seed.
yeah.
You're planting a
doubt.
a seed of doubt, or you're planting a seed of
And
encouragement.
it grows.
Either way,
It grows. So be encouraging today.
Yeah. Make a difference. You
I
can.
can't wait. Speaking of being encouraged, my guest on my show on Monday is going to be Tina Richards. She does a thing on Facebook called Be Encouraged, and man, some of the stories that she does, Tina, are just out. They're outstanding,
We're good.
and so we'll be hearing much more from her on Monday.
Rudeval says, my church is online now due to the pandemic, but I miss not being in his house. Yes, I agree, and I'm actually pretty excited about being in his house again this upcoming Sunday, because I haven't, man, my hands are probably, my fingers are going to hurt again because I haven't played near as much as I used to. Because I used to play every other day. I mean, I was playing somewhere, doing something. So,
I've missed church too, but I've also been really blessed in that there's a ministry to work at, and
Yeah.
there's people there who, whether they need it, whether they realize it or not, or accept it or not, that I can help,
Right.
that I can contribute to.
well, it's about time for us to start winding down.
Is it?
Man,
What time
it
is
just
it?
seems like
48.
I guess it's the reason I say it's that time again, or you do, is because to me it just seems like we just get started on something, and before you know it, you're saying it's about time for us to get out of here. It's like
That's
think
5 till. That's the 5 till button.
Yeah. Well, that was my that was the commercial time
so.
alarm.
Actually, that's slow.
A little bit.
I was
So-
like, what, boy.
Um,
So anyway, it just I'm enjoying myself, and I hope you folks.
no,
sure
it's
you-
not opening up. They're doing a online deal, but they're going to have praise music on the online deal.
Yeah, that's what our church does. Is they actually do a praise and worship, and then they bring the pastor on. It's really cool how they do it.
It is pretty cool. How
Get
they
to
do it.
work.
Get
You don't need anything to get to work. You can put a penny in the change jar for somebody to help. You can just reach out, pick something up somebody dropped. You see somebody upset or sad, tell them you care. Make a difference. You can, and it doesn't take much.
All right, that's true. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the morning drive today. Tune in next for the Power Hour with Skylar Carter, and I think hopefully he's bringing his mom with him again. Maybe the rest of the Blackwoods. So until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
and this has been
The Morning Drive.